Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Wednesday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini, and we're back talking about more Pittsburgh news here today. Really just going to go by the seat of our pants here today. Not too much big news. The Pittsburgh Pirates just wrapped up a game against their series finale against the Tampa Bay Rays a little over an hour ago. Going to talk about that and their game last night. Going to talk about a possible position change for one of their players. Going to talk about everybody's favorite topic, Aaron Rodgers possibly signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and a bunch of analysts and members of the media having conflicted feelings on if he really is going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, as well as an announcement that I have that I think you all are going to like. 6 of you in here right now. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Excuse me there, a little bit of a rough voice. Also, feel free to like and share this stream and comment in the live chat, just like Chad Schrader here. Welcome back, Chad. Sup, here we go, Steelers. Here we go, indeed. Great to have all of you here. Bit of a rough day outside. It was nice this morning, but if you live in Western Pennsylvania, just like me, in Pittsburgh and around that area's been dealing with rain today. Also dealt with some nasty thunderstorms, including hail here. There was about little less than marble-sized hail pellets that just came down like crazy today. So rough day for weather. Hopefully it's all cleared up now and it won't knock me out of connection here today. But we're going to get started here with some Pittsburgh Pirate news and whatnot. So the Bucks, since we last spoke about this time last night, the Bucks have played 2 games. Not really much went well in last night's game. I believe it was a 7-0 loss for the Bucks to the Tampa Bay Rays in their second game of the series. Much anticipation going into it. You had Thomas Harrington, your second best pitching prospect, take the mound for his MLB debut after getting an abrupt call-up. So Harrington went out there. Not a good start for him. Was down 3-0 after the first inning. And I believe he only went about 4 innings or so, giving up. I'm not sure if it was those 3 runs or 4, but just not a good outing for him. Bucks went against Shane Boz, a former prospect of theirs that went to the Tampa Bay Rays in the infamous Chris Archer trade from a handful of years ago. Of course, a bunch of us remember that trade and how bad it was for the Bucks trading away Shane Boz. And then, of course, the headliner going to the Rays then was Tyler Glasnow, who is now making a pretty penny pitching for the super team Los Angeles Dodgers. But, of course, our prospect making his MLB debut got touched up, and Boz went out there and had a career-high 10 strikeouts against the Bucks last night. And shout out to the Tampa Bay Rays. They're playing in a, minor league stadium. It was a good atmosphere, but shout out to their broadcasting crew for popping up a graphic of all the Pirate pitchers that have been traded away since 2015. They popped up the graphic. You got Charlie Morton, who's still churning it out. I think he's, on the last legs of his career with the Baltimore Orioles right now. Didn't have a good beginning of the season. And then 2018, not only did Tyler Glasnow and Shane Boz go down to the Tampa Bay Rays, Boz still there, Glasnow in LA, as I mentioned, but also Garrett Cole, the Cole train, went to the Houston Astros. That offseason was traded to Houston now up in New York, and he's not going to pitch this year and probably next year, undergoing Tommy John surgery. And then, of course, you get to the more recent ones, 2021, another year where 3 pitchers, decent pitchers, I should say, go out the door. Joe Musgrove to the San Diego Padres. Still believe he's there. Love Joe Musgrove. Was one of my underrated favorite Pirate pitchers. Jameson Taillon, I believe he is still with the Cubs, the team that the Bucks, I believe the Bucks traded him to the Yankees, but now he's with the Cubs. And then, you got Clay Holmes, who is in the rotation now, still a little bit shocked that he is a rotational pitcher for the New York Mets. So Bucks got their butts handed to them last night, but then we all had to at least have a little bit of hope and optimism that we weren't going to go 1-6 to start the seasons, because even though it's after the fact, happy Paul Skenes Day to all of you who celebrate. Skenes was on the bump today doing Paul Skenes things. Really didn't have that many strikeouts. He had 6, but you would expect a little bit more from him. I believe he only had 2 strikeouts through the first 4 innings, and I'm not going to complain about that, because you like to see him have the ball put in play to his defenders more often and keep that pitch count down. But Skenes went 7 innings pitched, only gave up 1 run on 3 hits, struck out 6, and now his ERA for the season is 1.46. Who knows maybe how long he keeps it around there. But Skenes had 72 strikes, 13 whiffs, and thankfully the Bucks were able to put up just enough runs tonight, this afternoon, I should say. O'Neal Cruz, another home run and another stolen base, so he's looking to keep hunting early and often, getting off to a strong start for what hopefully will be a 30-30 campaign. And then a big shocker, how about the Pirates having clutch hitting with 2 outs, no less, with runners in scoring position? 1 inning, Ke'Bryan Hayes had a leadoff triple, and the Bucks got 2 outs, and it was, looking like they were possibly going to strand runners in scoring position. And Adam Frazier came through with a 2-out RBI hit. Same with Endy Rodriguez in the later portions of the game, and then O'Neal Cruz, a 2 RBI day for him with a sacrifice fly. Bucks bullpen did hold up barely. I still don't understand. You sent David Bednar down to the minor leagues. I still do not understand why we are putting Colin Horderman in high leverage situations. Only went, I believe, 2/3 of an inning, gave up a run, gave up a hit, and just not another good outing for Colin Horderman. Thankfully, Ryan Borucki came in and cleaned it up. He's off to a fantastic start. Really happy to see him as sort of an unpredictable person stepping up in this bullpen. He's a guy who, had a rough ending to the year last year, also was dealing with injuries last year. He comes back on a minor league contract with a major league invite, gets put on the 40-man roster, makes the opening day roster, and now he's one of the Bucks' most reliable pitchers in the bullpen. So keep feeding me Ryan Borucki. Thank goodness he was able to come in and clean up Horderman's mess, not let the Rays get back into the ball game too much. And then Dennis Santana came in and shut things down in the 9th. I think he's going to be your starter, or your closer, until further notice, with him being probably your most reliable right-handed reliever. So thank goodness for Paul Skenes. And we're going to stick with Pirates topics and what's up with Andrew McCutchen. I noticed this when the opening lineup came out today. McCutchen missed his, I believe, 3rd game in a row, only came in a pinch hit role last night. And you got to wonder, what is up with Kutch? Is he hurt? Why isn't one of your most experienced bat in the lineup and one of your best, hitters capable of getting on base not in the lineup? You had Brian Reynolds designated hitting again, and we now know why that was the case. Apparently, Brian Reynolds is dealing with some sort of undisclosed injury, probably with his arm, so they're going to keep him as a more productive bat than McCutchen in that DH role, keep him from throwing. And, that sucks that you got these 2 hitters, 2 guys that you're expecting to be, 2 of your, 4 or 5 best hitters in a already weak offense. Sucks that you have to keep McCutchen on the bench. But, Shelton, I'm going to clarify here. Shelton said that this has absolutely no chance of happening this season, and that it was just this player, McCutchen messing around pregame. But Kutch was out there on the field taking grounders at first base. And if you're Shelton and you're the Pirates, you got this great starting rotation and a spotty bullpen. You need runs put up as much as you can because your offense has been lacking. My question is, why not have McCutchen, take reps at first base? Let him build up some pregame reps at, for like 2-3 weeks and then put him in there. You need your best bats in there as much as possible. McCutchen is definitely one of those. I don't get why you aren't going to put him at first base if you're going to have Brian Reynolds be DHing. And this goes even to when Reynolds eventually gets healthy. Reynolds, he's sort of the Iron Man of this lineup where he's going to, when he's not out there in right field, designate hit. And so you're taking pretty much a game out of the series or, 2 games out of the series where you're going to have Reynolds DHing and you're going to have McCutchen just sitting on the bench collecting dust, maybe waiting for a, pinch hit opportunity late in the ball game to come. So I don't understand why, McCutchen's days as an outfielder are done. So why not put him at a position where his mobility is going to be the most limited at first base? I'd be intrigued to see that. You're going to have Endy Rodriguez playing there as well, but any day Endy isn't catching, if you're going to have a day where Endy's catching and Joey Bart is not going to be in the lineup and you have Brian Reynolds DHing, or if Reynolds is in right and you have Joey Bart DHing, I'd rather see McCutchen there and maybe take a little bit of a dip in the fielding part of it than to put Jared Triolo out there who can barely hit but he's got a glove. You need, the bat in the lineup more than you need the defense on the field, in my opinion, if you're the Pirates. If you're going to, especially if you have Skenes out there and Mitch Keller mowing down guys and getting soft contact. Going to take a break here real quick, do a quick scroll through Twitter, see if anything new is going about in the Pittsburgh sports world. Something that could affect the Pirates. Jackson Merrill for the San Diego Padres, of course, the runner-up in the National League Rookie of the Year race last year, signed a 9-year, $135 million contract with the Padres, incentives included. That could take it up to $204 million. So Merrill, 21 years old, already getting a big payday. And that begs the question, why haven't the Bucks done this with Skenes already? They should have done something like this offseason. I'd give Skenes, offer him 10 years, $250 million contract rate now so that you have some sort of hope that he can be with you past the 5 years that you're, guaranteed with him before you maybe look to shop him and get a pretty penny, because baseball economics suck so much right now that you're not going to, keep him forever. That's just the unfortunate part of it. And I'm all for, shout out to what Jeff Passan said about a week ago now, saying you got Shohei Ohtani, one of the best players to ever play the game, and you got, so much profits going on in the MLB right now. Are you willing to sacrifice a year or two of that in a lockout to get a salary cap? Absolutely, because I'm right now have zero confidence that I'm ever going to see a World Series in my lifetime, and I'm in my mid-20s here. I'm fully convinced that I'll be lucky to see one before, my day and time comes. So I think the Bucks should have done this whole Jackson Merrill type deal for Skenes for a while now, and yeah, just shows the complete ineptitude that they have in the front office. Also, speaking of Skenes, how about that photo shoot he did with his girlfriend Livy Dunn with GQ, I believe it was. Didn't think Skenes could be that flashy of a guy. Not seeing much other news right now. So we're going to move on here to, will the Aaron Rodgers saga finally end next week? We haven't heard much more news on Rodgers himself. We've heard from Mike Tomlin earlier this week at the owners' meeting saying that it was a very positive meeting a couple Fridays ago with Rodgers at the facility in Pittsburgh. Art Rooney, owner, is confident that this is going to, go in the Steelers' direction and that Rodgers will be a Steeler. But all day long on 93.7 The Fan today, you've had multiple analysts and insiders from around the league questioning what is actually going on. You're getting opinions and thoughts from each end of the spectrum here. You had Jeff Hathorn, who's the 93.7 The Fan main Steelers insider, saying that, Rodgers and the Steelers have a secret deal done. That's what he thinks. You had another NFL GM via Pro Football Talk who does not have any connection to Rodgers and the situation, think that Rodgers is, still wanting to hold out for the Minnesota Vikings to come in and save him at the end of the day, and that he really doesn't want to sign with the Steelers. And then sort of going along that note, you had a NFL, I believe CBS sideline reporter Aditi Kinkambwala saying that the Steelers putting, pressure on Rodgers. Art Rooney saying yesterday that, the Steelers aren't going to wait forever, but they're willing to wait a little bit longer, saying that that is going to drive Rodgers away from the Steelers, and the Steelers are going to be stuck with Mason Rudolph as their starter and, maybe a draft pick, mid-round draft pick in this year's draft as their backup. So, like I said, it's just a waiting game right now, and I think we're waiting to a specific event that we all know. So, yeah, nothing new. I doubt we're going to hear anything spectacular. You had Rodgers throwing to DK Metcalf the other day, just, a little something here to keep us, engaged with this. I think Rodgers is no dummy. He wants to carry this thing out as long as possible, keep the publicity on him. And that takes me into my announcement. So, speaking of Aaron Rodgers, was, prepared for this afternoon, and I will officially be attending Pat McAfee's big night at. Sorry, it was a bit of a typo there. Let me fix that. There we go. So, did I fix it? No, why did it not fix? There we go. So, I will officially be at Pat McAfee's big night at on April 9th. Can't wait to get there. Gonna probably go there, hopefully see Aaron Rodgers signing become official. We all have speculated and predicted for the past week or so now that, he's just waiting to go on Pat's live show in Pittsburgh, come out to his new hometown crowd and, make it official there, make a whole WWE skit publicity stunt out of it. Well, I'll be there in case it happens. Probably going to do some video recording there and bring you guys back here, post on the channel a first-person point of view and experience of this show. Excited to go. Going to be with my father at that event, so kind of a guy's night out there. Go to see Pittsburgh's own Plum Zone Pat McAfee and hopefully get some news and be at the big extravagant conclusion of this Aaron Rodgers dilemma. Going to do some more seeing if there's any big news here for the Steelers, Penguins, or Pirates. Interesting. So we actually do have some news here. Bit small, but here, let me test out one of my new graphics here that I have going on for the NFL draft here in a couple weeks. And that breaking news is that wide receiver Matthew Golden from the University of Texas, draft prospect, most likely a first-round pick here on April 24th. He is in Pittsburgh today for a pre-draft visit, just posting probably a little over about 45 minutes ago that he is in Pittsburgh taking a shot of the river there. Looks like he is heading to the Steelers facility. Not sure if that is him heading or going from the Steelers facility, but Matthew Golden, Steelers keeping alive the thoughts that maybe there could be a first round wide receiver selection this year. You got DK Metcalf and you have George Pickens. So, maybe they could be going all in on offense and taking that third wide receiver. Not sure Golden is much of a slot. I think he's capable of playing there. If you want a pure slot, if you got Pickens on one side, Metcalf on the outside, on the other side of the field, I think Emeka Egbuka would be the guy for you to take in that spot. But Matthew Golden in Pittsburgh, I know Egbuka is also scheduled to have a visit. Steelers, if I had to guess, top 30 visit-wise, they're probably in the teens right now. So probably more news is going to be probably more news on visits probably going to be coming here. We are 22 days out now from the first round beginning. I will be live for that, so hope you all join me back here for that big draft live stream on Thursday the 24th. Not exactly sure, but maybe I will be live for the other days of the draft as well, Friday night, and maybe a little bit that Saturday afternoon. Going over some other news that I have starred here. Interesting 33rd team dropping an interesting stat that defensive backs who have been targeted 50 plus times and gave up 0 touchdowns last season, there are only 3 of them. Cooper DeJean, of course, from the Philadelphia Eagles, probably one of the best corners already in the NFL. Nate Wiggins from the Baltimore Ravens, and also Joey Porter Jr. from your Pittsburgh Steelers. So JPJ, even though he has been going through some handsy penalty calls over the last calendar year, still, though, not giving up much touchdowns to the person lined up across from him. Also, Adam Schefter from ESPN today saying that the current feeling is that neither the Browns or Giants will be selecting a quarterback with their first round picks. So looks like it's pretty much going to be Cam Ward at number 1. And then number 2 and number 3 are not going to be quarterback picks as, kind of expected at this point. I think you can put in pen right now the top 3 picks of the draft being Cam Ward, number 1 to the Tennessee Titans, Abdul Carter from Penn State to the Browns at number 2. I hate that pick. Good pick for the Browns, but hate it as a Steelers fan. And then Travis Hunter will be going to the flashy, bright market of New York City as a Giant, the two-way player, going to New York, possibly catching moon balls from Russell Wilson. Also, a bit of Pirate news here. The Bradenton Marauders, the Bucks single A affiliate, released their preliminary roster for this season. Just skimming through the names here, some names of interest, top prospects with the Bucks organization: Xander Muth, pitcher, Yordani De Los Santos as an infielder, Connor Griffin as an infielder / outfielder, and Yanni Severino as well as an infielder listed right here. Real quick, we're going to, let me change my graphic here. Going to hit on some Penguins news. Not much news going on with them right now other than forward Joona Koppanen was sent down just a couple of days ago. Now he's back up with the main team on an emergency basis. Mike Sullivan, Penguins head coach, saying that a couple of guys were banged up, so Koppanen, probably back down in the minors, was able to stop and say hi to his teammates before going back to the Berg. Penguins about to head on a road trip. As a matter of fact, they're probably already in St. Louis right now. They have a 3-game road trip beginning against the red-hot St. Louis Blues, who are on a 10-game win streak right now. So hopefully that win streak continues. I don't want don't hate saying that the Pens should lose for the top draft pick, but at this point, you're to a point of no return. Other news from Mike Sullivan: Evgeny Malkin and P.O. Joseph each skated this morning before practice. Malkin is expected to travel with the team on the road trip, and that Tommy Novak remains off the ice, probably not going to travel with the team. So Malkin could make a brief end-of-season cameo here. P.O. Joseph also up in the air. Tommy Novak, I'd be surprised if we see him on the ice before the 2024-25 regular season comes to an end. Let's look in here for more news. Interesting, speaking of the draft here in April and the live stream I am doing, I did get done with the running back portions of my rankings chart. Just going to go over my top 10 right here. Won't bore you to death with that. Ashton Genty, of course, my number 1 running back. Omarion Hampton at a close second from North Carolina. 3 and 4, both Ohio State running backs. I actually have Quinshon Judkins just barely edging out Trevion Henderson as the number 3 running back in this draft class. Number 5, Caleb Johnson, running back from Iowa. Number 6, Dylan Sampson from Tennessee. Number 7, Cam Scatabo from Arizona State. Number 8, Bashal Tutin from Virginia Tech, really shot up the draft boards. Number 9, Devin Neal from Kansas. And my number 10 prospect, who I actually would consider probably being one of my favorite possible picks for the Steelers. Going to be a mid-round guy, so the Steelers can focus on getting that defensive tackle in the first round, and maybe another defensive or offensive piece in the third round. That is Damian Martinez from Miami as my number 10 overall running back in this draft class. Scrolling through X here, seeing if there's any more new. Bit of a slow news day again. Going to be an odd night not having Pirates baseball on as well. At least they were able to end the terrible start road trip of the season with a win. Should be an interesting sight if they even play on Friday. It will be Mitch Keller on the bump for the Bucks, but if they get weather like how we had today, could put into question how many games they actually get with the Yankees this weekend. Also, a bit of gaming news for those of you who like to game a bit like me. Seems that College Football 26 released their cover, and on it you got Ryan Williams from Alabama, Arch Manning from Texas, and Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State. Also, you can see Beaver Stadium for Penn State down there in the corner. Yep, seeing more and more of the news of Matthew Golden taking a visit to the Steelers organization. Probably one of the fastest running back or wide receivers in this draft class. So Steelers looking to go all out with size and speed at the wide receiver position. Golden is definitely fitting that mold. All right. Don't see any more news, so gonna make it a quick stream tonight after going over an hour the past two nights. But anyways, I want to thank all of you for joining me here this evening. Hopefully some more news on the Aaron Rodgers situation's gonna come in the following days leading up to the Pat McAfee live show. If you're going, I hope to see you there. Should be a fun night. Pat said he has a lot of interesting guests scheduled, so maybe a couple of former Steelers, couple of other former Pittsburgh athletes, Pittsburgh celebrities, and whatnot. I think the Bucks play that night, so won't see any current Pittsburgh Pirates in attendance, but hope to see you there if you're going. And thank you all for joining me here tonight. Like, share, and comment this stream. Turn on notifications after you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Have a good evening.